Hi, everyone. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I have the amazing Roland in here, and he is the creator behind Davenport, the Miss Cinema. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, the pleasure is mine. I was obsessed with your Miss Cinema as soon as I saw it, and I saw that you had a voice acting spot open. So I was like, I need to apply. I literally sound like a teenage girl, but is there any role that you can have for me? So thank you so much for being here today. And, casting me as Amy.
Well, thank you. You're part of the Davenport family
I
now.
know. I feel so honored. Well, so I got some fun questions for you. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I recently turned 30 last month. So no yays, but you get it. And I'm living in Germany. I'm a photographer at day and, Sims player by night. So
I love this. I know we've talked a little bit about it, but what type of photography do you do?
Well, I'm mostly doing work now. I work for some fashion agencies that do online photographs for clothes. Before that, I'm still partly a free-time photographer, a freelance photographer for weddings and foods and restaurants and portraits. I do about everything. So it's a little bit of everything.
Wow. No, that's awesome. I didn't really know how in-depth photography really was until I'm getting married next year, and we booked a wedding photographers and we did a bunch of, engagement shoots, and I was just so impressed by, the skill it goes into photography. Cause you can tell when they love their work. You can see the smile on their face, or, and what I love is when they don't need to pose you. You're just there and you're having a good time. And the photographer can catch those moments in between, if they have to pose you or just anything like that. I really love that. So I love photographers. I know in the last year, the industry was definitely, really hit. So I really do hope, 2022, 2023, we can get back out there and, have more photographers, more live events. What's your favorite thing to photograph? Do you use it food? Is it people? Is it scenery?
Well, before pre-COVID, I used to love doing club shoots. It was a lot of fun because, again, you do the spontaneous photos. I mean, a lot of people ask to take pictures, but I love to just take pictures during the moment. So that was a lot of fun for me. And I really do love food photography. That was a big part of my life when I was still working at an agency. So I do love to take pictures for Instagram, for agencies, food pictures. So that's a lot of fun. It's really nice to set up things and you have the time and you don't have to worry about, people being annoyed or having to pose. So you just set up everything you want to set up and take your picture. And that's a lot of fun. I really like that.
No, that sounds awesome. That's really, I love that. And, I promise we'll talk about Sims in a moment, but, what secrets do you have for any photographers, really trying to get out there?
Just do it and just do it and teach yourself. And even if you don't have the opportunity to work and study it, here in Germany, you can take an internship and learn it for 3 years. I didn't do that. I learned something else, which was also media related. So I kind of mixed in both things, which was good for me. But I mostly teach everything myself for 3 years until I was hired professionally. So just if you want to do it, just do it and just get a camera or rent one and just take pictures, and especially now with social media, you can do so much and get such a big audience. So if you want to do it, just do it and make it work.
No, that's fantastic advice. And thank you, Roland, for sharing that. So I got a question what did you start playing The Sims?
Oh, I started very early with The Sims 1, actually. I've been a fan since the beginning.
Yes.
OG, really.
OG, yes.
I mean, my parents bought me the original Sims 1, and I didn't, you couldn't film there, so obviously the feature wasn't there. But I started filming in 2006 with The Sims 2. and got to YouTube a year later with my first series, which was Downtown back then, and doing music videos and stuff like that. So I started very, very early at the beginning. So my channel is a lot older than people think. It's been there since 2007. So
yeah, I was looking through your page and I saw videos from like 07, 08. I was like, oh my gosh. Cause I saw that you did a lot of Britney Spears videos.
yeah.
Yes. I love Britney Spears.
Yes, I'm a huge fan since day one. I've been to Vegas twice to see her show, and twice when she was in Europe, I saw her show. So I saw her 4 times in concert. I'm a huge, huge fan, and she was like the first artist who I did videos for, and during the time when YouTube started, like in 2000, when I started YouTube in 2007 and 2008, there was a lot of material to do it because, she got her new album out, the Blackout album. So there were a lot of tracks there. Then after everything with her breakdown came about, the new album Circus came and there was even more content. So I kept doing a lot of Britney work when I started out, just because I liked it and I love doing music videos as well. It's such a fun way to be creative.
No, that's awesome. You said your first machinima was Downtown. How many machinimas have you made?
As in series?
Yeah, in series, yeah.
Yeah. There's been Downtown, which was also 4 seasons, but it was only with subtitles, so there were no voices or anything.
Okay.
And then I had one that was called Me and the Others, which was a show about a woman who came into a big city. And it was like, I did 6 episodes and then I stopped because after, in the transition from Sims 2 to Sims 3, there was private stuff going on in my life with work and everything, which meant I couldn't really commit to The Sims for like 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. So I didn't do a lot. And then after that, when The Sims 4 came out, Inside started, mm-hmm. Which was obviously the thing that got my channel really up because I went from like 5,000 to like 12,000 subscribers. And then Inside ran for 4 seasons with voices. And then I started 2 projects that didn't really last because also there were like work issues and time scheduling conflicts with me personally. So yeah, that's Downtown, Me and the Others, Inside. Then there was Society, which I had to cancel. The Downtown revival I tried to make. I tried to think like, maybe I was before the trend of revivals happening now. I was like, I got to do a revival. So that got canceled after 3 episodes and now it's Davenport. So 6.
Oh, 6. I know. That's awesome. Okay. So when you film series, do you like doing it in Sims 2 or Sims 4 better?
Now I have to say Sims 4 because of basically also the graphics and the lighting and the way the animations look. I mean, the Sims 4 in Sims 2 you could do a lot with mods and special hacks that people made, but it still looked very computerish. Like it didn't feel so like it didn't flow. There was no good. It didn't look so good. I mean, it still looked very like amateurish. So I think The Sims 4 has so much better visuals to like translate all the feelings, like especially with seasons now and rain and like winter and stuff like that. Like for instance, like Davenport's new season starts in winter, so it's very like beautiful scenery right now that the new season's gonna have. So that's why I think Sims 4 is much better for machinima than Sims 2 was. But it was still fun. I mean, Sims 2 was still fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like to ask that question because I see a lot of like, machinimas and Sim series. Either half of them are in Sims 2 and the other half are in Sims 4. And I think they're both great for what they are. But like if I was to ever make a Sim series, I would absolutely do it in Sims 4 with the same, like it's much more polished. It's much more clean. Yeah. There's new mods. There's a mod, a CC, a pose for everything. Where in Sims 2, you don't really have that. It's still nice looking, but you're right. It looks like an early 2000s graphic because it's what it was back then, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, okay, no, that's awesome. Let's talk about Davenport season 2. First, let's talk about Davenport, and then we'll talk about season 2. So what is Davenport all about?
Well, the story is generally about, the first season was basically about this whole big town secret. I mean, I was watching a lot of Riverdale. I rewatched every soap that I love, like Desperate Housewives, the new Dynasty reboot, which I love, Riverdale, Gossip Girl, all those teen soapy drama, So I wanted to do something that was like a mixture of everything. And I love the idea of a small town secret. So that's because Inside was all my shows basically always have three main women as lead. It's I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but I always try to be diverse and have like one male main character, but it always ends up being three women. I don't know why. It's just maybe something I can write well. I don't get it myself, but I wanted it to be like, Inside was more like it basically about these three women, but it didn't have anything around it. Like it wasn't like about a city or something specific. It was just like three girls, and each of them had like big secrets or big drama. And when Inside came out, it was like my first goal was to be the first Sims 4 series made, because Inside came out like 2 or 3 months after the Sims 4 came out. So there were no mods or anything. I just wanted to put something out to make an impact. Which I'm glad it did, but there was no big planning behind it before. It was all very spontaneous. So for Davenport, I had to think a lot about what I wanted to tell. And I wanted to have this big town, this small town with like big secrets and like people running this town, which are obviously Max and Brenda as the power couple. Max is the mayor, and he can't. He's like the biggest famous person in this town, and I wanted the story to really be about connections and like a small village where everyone knows everyone.
No, that's awesome, and it really translated, because I love Riverdale and I love the new Dynasty. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is like that. This like reminds me a lot of Riverdale. And then with the power couples, I'm like, this is obviously Fallon Carrington. Yes. So no,
I love Fallon Carrington.
I love Fallon Carrington. Yes.
If I could, if I would be born again, I would love to be born again as Fallon Carrington, to be honest. And I would love to dress like her and be like her, have her hair. I wish I could trade places any second.
Right. I love Fallon.
And be as quick and sassy as she is.
Right.
I can do that.
Like she's a badass. She's always on the ball, and she's fabulous. So Fallon Carrington is amazing.
Love her. Love her.
I love her. Season 2. So what's going on in season 2?
Well, I think in season 1, we had this one big secret that was covering the whole season. So we had the whole murder mystery, the whole suicide mystery of why Jane had to kill herself, what was going on, and we found out everything at the end. So now it's like, where do we go from here? And I think season 2 is a very good continuation, because we don't have one big secret. We have more like 3 or 4 small storylines that all transcend into one. So it's a great. I've written so far like I'm at episode 7 from season 2 writing wise. So, and I looked back a couple days ago and I was like, oh, this really makes sense looking back. Like everything that happens next makes sense if you think about it. Of course, there are shockers and cliffhangers and stuff like that happening, but it all makes sense when you watch it back after you've seen it once. So season 2, we obviously, Susan set the house on fire. So now we have to see what's going to happen next. Brenda doesn't want to press charges. Max wants to find out. They don't know for sure if she did it, but it's pretty obvious to everyone after the way everything went down at Valerie's house, like a season finale of season 1. So Brenda and Max know she set it on fire, but they don't have proof. Max wants to get proof. Brenda doesn't want to, open up that can of worms, because obviously her and Susan aren't going to be friends anymore, but they don't want to be enemies either. Mm-hmm. And Susan wants to just move on. And Val is obviously gone. She's on vacation, so we don't know when she's going to return and how she's going to return.
No, like that's awesome. I'm very excited to see how season 2 plays out. I have a very good idea because I'm Amy. I'm in it. Yeah, I'm Amy, but I was in it. I'm in it. I was like, because I would read the scripts. Like I used to get so excited to see your emails. I was like, okay, what's happening in this episode? And I would literally just have a glass of wine and read it. And I'd be like, oh, like that was like, that was always the face. I'd be like, oh, she said what? She did what? So I'm very excited for everyone to see it. So what do you think makes a good sim series?
Oh, that's a hard question. I've recently been like browsing just because of COVID and like having a lot of time. I've recently been checking out some series. I'm not someone who watches other shows because I'm not someone who likes to watch. I don't watch Sims videos. I just check YouTube to watch like Dynasty clips or watch out some promos for the next week of Riverdale and maybe watch some videos that I watch to go to sleep or something like that. I don't spend a lot of time on YouTube checking other Sims content, but I was just recently just checking other shows. And I think what makes a good series is definitely a compelling story. I don't think it's so much about having the perfect cuts or animation or, there are great shows who just have static photos with text that are interesting. You can do anything as long as the story like draws you in. So I don't think a story needs to have perfect animations or perfect settings or anything like that. If you got a good story, then it's going to draw people in.
No, absolutely. So what is your favorite part then, creating a sim series?
Then other than?
Yeah. So do you like writing better? Do you like directing? Okay. Do you like, obviously maybe not casting, but like, do you have it like when you see your work at the end of the day, like what is your favorite aspect of making a sim series?
The favorite part is probably the editing. Where everything comes together, because I love writing, but it's also at a certain point, like for this season, writing was very, the first episode was kind of the hardest because you have to think about, okay, what's happening after the finale. But after that, everything had a very natural flow in my mind of where I was going and where everything was headed. So writing was a lot easier for season 2, or is a lot easier for season 2, because I know the characters, I know their history, I know how they would behave. So writing is fun, but I love the editing as much more, because you get to see the filming and put the voices in and everything kind of comes to life. Mm-hmm. And I love to do that. And I also really love doing trailers and the promos between each episode. I just love that because it's like this. I don't need to put out promos basically, because I don't think a lot of people do that, to put out like weekly promos between episodes. But it's like such an old television thing that used to be before streaming, and I love that. I love that when when Desperate Housewives used to air, then there was no Netflix or anything. Here in Germany, we had it on our channel, and there used to be promos at the end of every episode for next week's episode, and it was like a 30-second promo. And that was the most exciting part about the whole episode. So I love doing that. I love cutting. I love editing the episodes, but I love editing trailers and promos as well, because I love that factor of suspense and like getting people excited. That's so much fun.
All right, Roland, you're a man after my own heart. I love trailers. The first thing I do after I watch an episode of Riverdale, because like I watched it on Netflix, I go to YouTube and I'm like, Riverdale season 7, X14 promo trailer. I love promo trailers. I think if you can edit a really good promo trailer, like you're amazing, because that's how you get people hooked for the next week's episode, or like the next thing that's coming. So I don't have like any sim series. Like I have an Instagram story series called The Rose Chronicles, and I release a chapter every week, and every 10, 20 or 30 chapters, I'll release like a sneak peek for the next 10 chapters. That is my favorite thing to make, out of everything I do. Because it's so much fun. Like kind of like teasing what's next and what's to come. And, like, it really comes down to really good editing. Like maybe this specific scene is actually for something for this, but you're just using the wording. Like I love a good promo trailer, and I love trailers. It's like my favorite part, right? I
love it. I mean, I'm hardly someone who ever says like I'm very proud of my own work or I love my own job or my own video. But for example, like for Inside, my first Sims 4 series, the season 2 and season 3 trailers are probably my favorite ones because they're over like a minute and a half long. I had so much work done ahead, and I had such fun editing it, and the result was amazing. And back then you still use music without worrying about copyright and stuff like that. So those are like my favorite videos to do.
Well, you do an amazing job making those videos. You're very welcome. So we all know when Davenport season 2 comes out, anything you'd like to spill?
Well, I mean, there are 3 new characters coming, 3 new troublemakers. Well, not troublemakers. There are troublemakers. we have a huge new villain coming, but not in the premiere episode. It's a her, and she's gonna come in episode 2 of season 2. And the first 2 episodes are already uploaded on my channel as private, so they're done, they're edited, everything's finished. And she's one of my favorite new characters. It's a huge new villain. During the whole season run, I mean, episode 5, I don't know if have you read the new script for season 5?
I did. I read it this morning, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. And I love, she has lines like at the end of like the big moment in episode 5. I mean, the people listening to this will know what we're talking about, but
yes,
she has those lines. She's going to have more of those. It's going to be so great. She's going to stick around for a while. So we have a huge new villain around, and we also have 2 little small characters. We have another female and another male character coming. Obviously, what I can tell is that Susan sells her coffee shop to Connor. So Connor gets more screen time because I wanted to keep the LGBTQ couple in, because I don't have a lot of, because not intentionally, but I sometimes forget to put in like those representations, and just because I love my female characters, and I forget to put in like someone who like represents my community. So I do wanted to give Connor some more screen time, and he becomes like some sort of new friend for Susan during the long run. So that's something I can spill for sure. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I can't wait for everyone to see it. And then, we can all be like, did you expect this to happen?
Yes.
Yes. Well, Roland, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for, taking time out of your busy day and, doing this series. I definitely want to say that your work is very inspiring. So I'm very honored that you casted me as Amy.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. So Davenport season 2 comes out on September 26th. So is it going to come out once a week? Like what's your episode timeline, or is that a surprise too?
So far, no surprises unless I change my mind, but it's 1 episode on like the episode premieres on September 26th. And 1 week later, we're going to have the promo for episode 2, and the week after episode 2. So it's every 14 days, we're going to have a new episode. I was trying to get it in a slower to get in fewer days before the episodes, but I would love to do it weekly also, but I'm always afraid that, after a certain point, like if real life work comes between that, and I don't want to disappoint people by having to wait like 4 or 5 weeks. So just to be sure, we're going to do it every 14 days, one episode, like last season. So
that's
I'm very, very excited about it.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for everybody to see it. So everyone that's listening, the links are going to be below. Go subscribe if you've not to the amazing Miboy1991. Like I said, the links are going to be below, and watch Davenport season 2.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Well, you have a great rest of your day. Okay.
Thank you. You too. Thanks so much for having me.
You're very welcome.